today with Marc Holliday of SL Green. Marc, thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Now, One Vanderbilt is obviously the biggest thing on your plate. What about all the other stuff? Like, tell us about how SL Green fared in 2017 and how it's faring in 2018.
Well, we got a very full plate as it is.
Right.
Some of the bigger initiatives in 2017 and continuing on into 2018 has been a fairly robust sales program that we have always been known to be harvesters of value and not afraid to monetize great assets. I mean, a lot of people, when you invest in a great building like that, the thought would never occur to want to sell it because these assets are irreplaceable and it's so hard to acquire good assets at good basis in New York. And when you do, you don't want to let go, but that's never been our style. Our style has always been about acquiring, adding value, and at the right time, monetizing and redeploying, and that's how we've grown from maybe under $1 billion of market capitalization to over 20 billion of enterprise value today. We've done it through that, that willingness to take assets like a 1515 Broadway, like an 11 Madison, like 16 Court, last year 600 Lexington. This year we have more assets in the market, joint venture those assets, sell those assets, and then redeploy into a myriad of uses we have in this company, some of which is One Vanderbilt, but it also spills over into our stock buyback program, keeping our balance sheet, at kind of fortress levels, fortress BBB levels, and also other development projects, operations, reinvesting in our building. It just goes on and on.
Marc, how did you wind up at SL Green? What's your story to get there?
Well, I don't know where you want to start, but I mean, the most immediate tangent to me joining SL Green was when an entrepreneur walked into my office one day when I was involved with Victor Capital Group, Capital Trust. We were doing merchant banking and subordinate lending, and we were doing some investment on the side, but we did some consulting, and in came Steve Green and his wife Nancy. And they said, I have this small portfolio of B buildings. I think Steve at the time owned the moniker King of the Bees. And he said, I want to go public. And it was challenging because back in '95, which I guess is when that meeting occurred, most of the public company product was true down the middle Class A product of scale. And this was a older building portfolio, but in good locations with a great brand name. And I took on that challenge of working with Steve and Nancy and his team for the better part of 2 years, which culminated in the IPO of SL Green in 1997. Very shortly thereafter, I think within 6 or 12 months, Steve called me and said, I'd love to have you help me come run this thing. And together we worked out a vision that was fairly modest to become the biggest, best, and most profitable real estate company in New York City. And hopefully we're on our way to achieving that.
Well, Marc, thank you so much for having us today. This was great.
Max, thank you very much.